Okay, I'm going to go ahead as people are joining us and get started. I don't want to waste any of your time. Just a few points as far as an introduction and the purpose of tonight. Myself, we at Refugee Language Project, like so many of you, have been watching what's been taking place in the news in Afghanistan in horror and wondering, what can we do? How could this impact our city? If it does impact our city, what is our responsibility? How can we be part of the solution? Are there people from Afghanistan coming to Amarillo? These questions have been on my heart, even as I've watched the horrendous things taking place in that country. And personally, as a follower of Jesus, I am thinking about how to be, I'm thinking about the Good Samaritan. I'm thinking about how I can be a good neighbor if God does bring Afghans here. How can I help them to thrive and flourish? I say, God, please bless me so that I can be a blessing to those people made in your image. So our goal tonight is to introduce you to the current facts and the people who are in the know, because this is a quickly moving situation, and to just prepare your heart, prepare your minds in case Afghans do find their way here. So maybe you will have specific ways, skills, gifts, experiences that will bear in this, where you can be a support. And I'm especially excited about an interview we did, which we'll get to introduce you to these three beautiful, wonderful Afghani women who live here in Amarillo. A lot of us want to help, but we don't know how to offer meaningful help. So at its most basic level, that's the purpose of this meeting, to help you offer meaningful, useful help. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ryan Pennington. I'm the Executive Director of Refugee Language Project, which I founded in 2017 here in Amarillo. And our mission is to remove language barriers, build leaders, and cultivate community, especially among refugee communities in the Panhandle. Our focus, literacy, storybooks, mentorships, one-on-one. Plug real quick, we'd love to get you in mentorships, one-on-one with refugees in this city. We can get you in them quickly as a way to build relationships and serve people directly now. We do a lot as far as building bridges in our community and building leaders. But tonight's not about Refugee Language Project. I just want you to know who I am. So here's the outline of tonight, okay? First, right off the bat, we're gonna get you the facts, just let you hear directly from the two directors of the resettlement agencies in Amarillo. That's Andrea Solis of Refugee Services of Texas, and then Jeff Gouldy of Catholic Charities. I'm going to give them each a chance to just share what they know right now, but I just warn you, they don't know a lot. This happened so recently. A lot is being thrown at them. So I want to share them, show grace to them. They're trying to figure out, they're asking the same questions you and I are. And I hope, if anything else, that they walk away from this feeling like their community supports them while they do a very difficult job. Jeff and Andrea, I hope you hear that. After that, I want to introduce you to my friend Matthew Solar. And then I'm going to play an interview that we had Friday night with Susan, Maria, and Shabnam. And that interview is long. It's 17 minutes long. And we're going to play the full length interview for you so you can hear about their experiences coming here and how they feel about what's going on back in their home country. Then at the end, we will send those of you who are still here into breakout groups and let you talk to brainstorm. What ideas do you have? How can we be a practical support to the resettlement agencies? What ideas do we have? And each small group will have a scribe to try to take some of those notes. They don't have the answers. Their job is just to help us kind of tabulate some of your interest. Then we will, at the end of that, in the breakout sessions, for those of you who are people who pray, we want to give you an opportunity to pray. So take advantage of that at the very end, and then we will dismiss you from the breakout groups. We won't do anything else together this way. And I do want to mention, just as a precursor, I didn't know whether to expect this, but Susan, who was featured in that interview, is actually with us in this Zoom call. So she's made herself available for any questions as well. So that's really exciting. Thanks for joining us, Susan. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right. I'm going to first introduce to you Andrea Solis. Now I need to find her on here so I can make it possible for her to speak. Oh, there she is. Let's see, I'm gonna make her co-host. Now Andrea is the area director of Refugee Services of Texas. I so enjoyed sitting down with her just this morning. And she just has a wonderful heart as she serves the refugees of the city. And I want to welcome her now and give her a chance to share what she does know to you all. And before she begins, I want to give you this reminder. I'm going to give you a chance to ask some questions of them, but if they don't answer those, but just keep in mind, they don't have a lot of answers yet, okay? And that's okay. We now have your contact information, so as we get answers, we'll send them to you, even if that's tomorrow or next week. This isn't the end of the story. So if you have questions that you'd like answered either now or later, please just post those in the chat box because there's no opportunity for you to speak. Okay, Andrea, why don't you go ahead and begin?
Okay, yes, thank you so much. Ryan, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be able to talk and chat. So my name is Andrea Solis. I am the director with Refugee Services of Texas and for the Amarillo office. We do have many different offices and we're located in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, and Austin. We have our resettlement agencies. Sorry, it keeps clicking off here. And so what I wanted to talk with you all today, first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you to Ryan. Thank you to everyone else in the community who has shown us so much support. It really means a lot to us to have that support. And so I just want to say thank you, first of all. The contacts that have been, people that have been calling us and have been wanting to help, it's really been overwhelming in a great way. And so I really appreciate it. I appreciate you all being on here to listen and to see what all you can do and what you're able to do to help the clients that are coming here. So RST Amarillo is one of the resettlement agencies here in Amarillo. There are 2 agencies. So we are one of the agencies here, and what we do is we resettle refugees. We resettle refugees. We also assist parolees, SIVs, and other displaced persons. We also have a human trafficking program for survivors of trafficking and victims of crime. So we do assist in all those different areas in our agency. I know we're all here today because of the tragedy that has happened in Afghanistan, which is very heartbreaking. And our agency is trying to do all that we can to be able to assist. We're working very closely with Catholic Charities as well, the other resettlement agency with Jeff, just to see what all we're able to do. And we're now joining in with Ryan, Bethesda, and just so many other agencies and people around. But with this tragedy that has happened, it's taken a big effort. It's going to take a big effort. It's just beginning. So as Ryan said, we don't have a lot of information right now, but we are learning every day. There's different things coming up. There's different things changing. So we are definitely will keep you in the know if you would like us to do that. But all in all, in Amarillo, we will be receiving SIVs and parolees that are coming from Afghanistan. So right now they are taking, they are now evacuating. So they are evacuating right now. The first to evacuate are SIVs, which are special immigrant visas. And these clients that have special immigrant visas have been assisting our military. So they have been interpreting for our military, also fighting along with our military all these years. So they will be evacuating first. They have already gone through vetting process. They've already been approved because of working with our military. So that's why they're able to come a lot faster. So they were able to get SIVs with their families, immediate family, their wife, children are able to come with them right away. The others that will be evacuating, that they are evacuating currently and have evacuated are called parolees. So they're giving them a parolee status and not a refugee status. So being a parolee is different than a refugee. So a refugee is qualified for different programs, and they now have came up with a program for, which I've just learned recently about. So they do have a parolee program now, which is an APS, which is Afghan Parolee Support Program. And this will be able to assist them also financially for 30 to up to 90 days, which isn't as much as we do refugees. So refugees do have a little bit more longer financial support. And so we will be receiving some SIVs. Those will be coming first. Those I'm guarantee we will be getting here in Amarillo really pretty quickly. I would say we will start receiving SIVs anywhere from the next week and on. And so parolees we will be receiving, those will may take a little bit longer to get here. The parolees are having to go through also some background check. They're having to get all of their immunizations. So they will be treated, they'll get vaccinated for MMR, for polio, COVID vaccinations. They're getting TB tested and having other health evaluations done before they are releasing them to go out and be resettled somewhere. So there is a lot going on still. They're helping apply for EAD cards for these parolees, which we usually do once they're here and they're resettled with us. But to kind of help the process and make that process a little faster, they are helping them apply there where they're being located right now, where they're being held, to help that process a little faster and to help some of our agencies out with that work. It does take for an EAD, which is an employment authorization card. So the EAD card does take about up to 6 months to receive. So their USCIS is thinking if they can help to get that process done, it may be a little faster. And we may be able to get them working a little faster as soon as they get out to help them be self-sufficient a little faster as well. They do have to register with USCIS whenever they get here. So they do have to register the addresses and so USCIS is always able to locate them if need be. And if they ever move or go anywhere, they also have to, which is our responsibility, to also make sure that that application is done that shows that they have moved, or that, you know, they're moving out of town, or they're moving, even if they're staying in town and they're moving with another family member, or they're getting their own place, and they do have to still turn in that application to USCIS, the form that shows that they are relocating, so that they're always able to be located. And so what we're hoping you all here are for is, you know, to learn the difference there in SIVs and in parolees that will be coming from Afghanistan, but also ways that you're able to assist and to help the agencies and the clients that will be coming. So the clients that will be coming, we're asking for help with donations. So donations with, if you happen to have housing, or you have an apartment, you have your apartment managers too that may be out here or out on the call. If you have any apartments available, if you're willing to work with us on those and getting people housed in apartments, if you happen to have any houses for rent that you're able to assist with that, we do have funding to help with that, to help pay rent for their first few months, to help until they're getting self-sufficient and able to thrive on their own. We're also asking for donations such as furniture, food, housing supplies. Now, this is things that we do get funding for them. They do get a portion of funding for this. So they're able, we have to supply this for them, but it also comes out of their pool. So if we get these things donated to them, and the more donations we get to help with that, it leaves us more to work with them with the funding we do get for emergencies, for medical, for medication if they need it, for just other housing supplies or other needs that may be coming up for these families. It allows us more room to work with that financially if we do get donations coming in. We also will be putting together an Amazon wish list that we will have together by next Friday, September 10th. And so with that wish list that we put up, we want to take a list of volunteers or people who want to do donations. So you're welcome to contact us so that we can put you on that list. And then we will be emailing out our Amazon wish list to everyone on our list. We'll also get that to Ryan so that he can have that as well for anybody on the list with Refugee Language Project who would also like to donate or volunteer. So that will be again going out next Friday by the 10th. I'll make sure that we have that list going of everything that is needed. We're also asking for volunteers. So volunteers in all areas. So if you are comfortable working with clients, we can get you volunteering, working with clients directly. You would just go through a background check if you will be working with clients. For that, we're asking, it would be like welcoming teams, mentoring once they get here, just to kind of be, a shoulder for them to lean on when the caseworkers can't be with them all the time. So we do ask for volunteers and mentoring groups. Welcoming teams, what a welcoming team is you would help the caseworker. It could be pre-arrival things with once we get the arrival notice that they'll be coming. It's going to be grocery shopping, setting up the apartment, meeting at the airport. So you'll get to actually meet the clients there at the airport. Some of them will be family reunifications. And so you'll be able to really just see that and be there and feel what we feel every time we get to go to the airport and witness these reunifications from family members that haven't seen each other in many, many years. And so you would be able to do that on a welcoming team. Which you can be individual, or if you wanted to get a group together or get some people that you work with together and just come up with a group that you're volunteering to help, whether it's putting classes together, if you wanted to help with some kind of informative classes that you would like to do and put on for clients, we welcome that as well. Then we also have our volunteering that is helping with grocery shopping or setup or other things that don't involve directly working with clients that we can also set you up with. That doesn't necessarily require a background check, but it does require training. So we will be having a training that we will be putting on regularly for any volunteers that do want to. So we won't just throw you out there. We're going to train you on everything that we do, all the programs that we have, what's okay, what's not okay. So we'll make sure that we go through all of that with you before you actually start your volunteer with us. I did want to touch back. I'm sorry. I did want to touch back on SIVs that we will be receiving. On parolees that we will be receiving. For RST Amarillo, we have approved to receive parolee cases, but only for those who are joining their SIV families or that have sponsors here. So we are not at this time taking any free cases of parolees. So we just felt in the Amarillo area right now that it is best if they actually have someone that they're coming to meet here that's able to help and assist them with things and help the caseworker as much as they're able to help provide transportation and things like that, which is also what we ask volunteers to do, help with transportation, client appointments, things like that for volunteering as well. Again, that's everything that I really have right now. You're welcome to, I would love for you to contact RST. If you want to learn more about RST, our volunteer, you go to rstx.org. And there you're able to see all of the programs that we have, see all the locations that we have, just learn more about RST and apply for volunteering there. It also has open positions that we have available, which we do have a few positions open right now. So if you'd like to go take a look at those and see if it's something that you see in your future or something that you would like to work with, we'd love for you to apply. And again, I just want to say thank you all so much. I thank you again for being interested in wanting to help and learn more. If there's anything else I can help with, you're more than welcome to contact me at RST. Our phone number, I'll go ahead and put out our phone number just in case. So our direct phone number is 806-381-0099. And so you're welcome to contact me or any of the employees at RST to get assistance with what it is that you're needing. So thank you all again. I appreciate it. And thank you, Ryan.
Thank you so much, Andrea. So just just to follow up on that, everyone, I want you to see this distinction that the resettlement agencies, they settle people in various cities across the nation and our state based on numbers that were decided upon last year. So those numbers and the budget associated with those numbers is already set. What's happening in Afghanistan now is new and different. So it doesn't fit the boxes. So when they have funding to help settle this person and that person, that money is tied up. It's not connected to people who might be coming from Afghanistan. So that's why we're asking these questions, why they're developing an Amazon wish list, why they're asking for new volunteers, so that we have a way to care for those SIVs, special immigrant visas, people who, for example, helped the US military in Afghanistan, as well as parolees, maybe their family members who are going to be connected to them but weren't themselves working for the US military. Okay, thank you so much, Andrea, for your time. I want you to stick on here so that we can ask questions, but I want to go ahead and jump to Jeff of Catholic Charities. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us.
Ryan, thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you all for attending to hear more about what's going on. And, you know, I really can't emphasize enough that a lot of this is so fluid. We really don't know many details. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but one of the chats I see was about funding for SIVs, because that is a more normal process. We do anticipate having help for the SIVs, but the parolees is a new process and a new designation. And so that is where we're really driving for extra help. And Andrew did a phenomenal job of outlining a lot of the needs. I could say ditto pretty much down the line to the kinds of things that she was asking for. Some of the pieces that we work with on our side, not only with the reception and placement of refugees and special immigrant visas, et cetera, we do help them get employed in places like Tyson and JBS Swift. We've been amazed at some other local businesses that have reached out to us to offer that they have open positions. So we're always looking for additional things in that regard. Part of one of our tasks when they arrive after they've really been set up in a home is a social adjustment piece. And we offer cultural orientation, which is a somewhat longer process. And especially for the parolees, the process, you know, we talked about the up to 90 days would be longer than that. Cultural orientation involves things like getting to meet with and learn about our police officers and our fire department, learning more about the health department, the school system, different things that we all grow up with and kind of take for granted that people would know about. And we really want that to be a holistic process, so they don't just get exposed to it and then left to figure it out, but that's an ongoing hand-in-hand walk down the path with them. When we talk about volunteers, that's something I think we've all seen as a best practice in past history. Can we find volunteers that are willing to be, like a lack of better words, a host family, to really match up with a family and help them not only navigate these early days, but be there as questions come up down the road. Other pieces that we offer, of course, is ESL, our English as a second language classes. We have tutoring for some of the young refugee students, youth mentoring for refugee students that are really more of college type age, but because they haven't been here long, they don't realize that they have other options besides going to work for a Tyson or JBS. And that mentoring has helped them realize that college is one option, but there are also trade schools and other things they can do besides going to a meatpacking plant. We do have immigration services, which I believe RST has as well, and citizenship classes, which in this stage is really, it's not a factor, but down the road, 4 or 5 years, that is a piece that we hope all of them that get here are wanting to pursue. Again, tying back to the volunteers, that really is one of the biggest needs we have collectively. Of course, we love to, I mean, we're a nonprofit, so money is always an ask that we do. But in this case, I think the volunteers is the more important ask. as well as the different household type goods that Andrea listed. The food, the furniture, housing in particular, we know is a crisis right now. Toiletries, school supplies. The difficult thing about making an ask right now is we really don't know numbers. And while I know Andrea and RST have agreed to take on some, as has Catholic Charities, we don't know what that number may be. We anticipate it's going to be on the smaller side simply because the city of Amarillo in general is trying to maintain smaller numbers of refugees coming in so we can keep things flowing smoothly. And so we don't anticipate large numbers, but we do anticipate that extra need for help. We have other programs that Catholic Charities offers, and I don't want to muddy the water with those right now, but in some cases they do tie in. For example, our food pantry is something that we do offer to our refugee clients to come and get food there as well. And I won't take as long as Andrea did, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because she did a thorough job, and I don't want to be repetitive of what she said. But for more information about Catholic Charities, our website is cctxp.org, and our phone number is 806-376-4571. And you can reach out to us. Our volunteer coordinator, her name is Joyce Knight. If you're interested in volunteering, and I think I can say this for Andrea as well, reach out to either of our organizations now. We do have a vetting process we'd like for you to go through and complete. So when we do have the need, you're all ready to go. And I'm going to pause right there and pass the time back to Ryan. Again, thank you all for being here, and I'll stay on to answer any questions that I can.
Thank you so much, Jeff. A couple things I wanted to point out as I was listening to them both speak. First of all, they're talking about how they don't have numbers, right? So I know that's what everyone's wanting to know. Ask again next week. But right now we're trying to be in the front end of this rather than reactionary. We're wanting to be prepared. So that's why we're holding this meeting now instead of next week. Okay. Second of all, even if Catholic Charities and Refugee Services of Texas chose to resettle 0 SIV cases or parolees, you have to keep in mind that our nation is big and people often go where they can find work. So that's where secondary migration comes into play. And so someone who is brought here from Afghanistan and can't find a job in Kentucky or Dallas can find their way to Amarillo seeking employment, for example, at one of our meatpacking plants that pay very well. So that's another thing to just be aware of, is that there's a difference between what Jeff and Andrea are talking about and what's happening on the national stage. A couple of questions that I've seen, and if you have questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'm not going to take a long time on this, but I wanted to give a couple of moments. The first question that is a good one is, what is the greatest need for these families once they arrive here? I think Jeff and Andrea probably could list a whole host of things. Is there anything that stands out as the top greatest need right off the bat?
I'm thinking the top greatest need right now, that what I'm learning from the parolees that will be coming, is they don't qualify for a lot of services right away. So I'm thinking food is going to be a big need. And, you know, so maybe canned things, dried goods that we can store for a while as they come in, that we're able to help them in that way with food. And we do have a good partnership with Bethesda, or I'm sure the food bank maybe would be really good to contact to try to get help. But just help that we can get out there for food wise, I think is going to be one of our big things coming for the parolees that are going to be coming from this area. Other than that, I would also say maybe hygiene products and things of that sort that Jeff had mentioned earlier would probably be another big need that we're going to be looking at.
Toiletries is probably a big, that second big need.
So one thing I learned about today from Andrea is that they actually do have these lists of supplies that they need for every new family that's coming. And one tricky thing right now is not knowing, you don't want to store and gather a bunch of stuff that's not connected to your budget. So one idea that we have would be to identify a few people in the community who could serve them as sort of like a liaison volunteer, like donation coordinator, where you're the one who has the list and you're the one trying to fill that bucket with stuff for RST, reaching back out to our list, trying to find, okay, we need a bed, we need this many pots and pans, this many blankets, getting it into that pile. So that is one concrete way that a few people can help support this process in the event that people do come. Yeah, so another person asked about since SIVs worked with the military, will there be less of a language barrier, which is interesting and really not answerable because every person is different. But I would venture to guess, in general, that might be true, but their families, that would not necessarily be true for. So the language barrier is, of course, a big issue. But here's the deal. We're going to give you time to debrief and think about some of these things in the breakout at the end, as well as to follow up. You all have my email address. But I want to keep on track, and I want to go ahead and jump to the next part. So I'm seeing questions still come in, and it's possible at the end I have the chance to respond to a few more of those. But you now know what Jeff and Andrea look like, okay? And you can support them, pray for them, encourage them as they do very difficult work. Thank you so much, Jeff and Andrea, for your time.